Namaste and a warm greetings to everyone. I'm very much thankful and delighted to participate in this 10th International Multidisciplinary Conference on Current Research Trends 2024. My name is Rojee Gurung and I am MPhil PhD student in Central Department of Home Science, specialization in Food and Nutrition, Tribhuvan University, Nepal. Do you know that the prevalence of chronic kidney disease is more than 10% in general population worldwide? So, the hemodialysis is the commonest renal replacement therapies in the world, accounting approximately 69% of all renal replacement therapies. That's why my topic today is effects of dietary protein restriction on nutritional status of hemodialysis patient. As we all know that the nutrition-related chronic diseases are becoming significantly concerned, not only in the developed countries, but also in the developing countries like Nepal. Protein allergy malnutrition is prevalent in 18 to 70% of the maintenance hemodialysis patients, contributing to increase the mortality and morbidity rate. Hemodialysis patients face challenges in getting enough protein due to various factors such as medical, behavioral, and socioeconomical factors. So that's why there has been various researches and investigations related to the nutritional status of the hemodialysis patients, but there is a notable gap in focusing on the protein intake, protein restriction, and its effect on the nutritional well-being. The research objective is to investigate the prevalence of protein restriction practices and its effect in nutritional status of hemodialysis patients. The research methodology was descriptive exploratory research design. The study was done in one of the largest hemodialysis center of Banasthali, Kathmandu, Nepal. Chronic hemodialysis patients were the study population and purposive sampling method was used. Sample size was 150 hemodialysis patients. The data collection tools and techniques. Structured questionnaires was used. Direct interview was done with patients and their visitors. Wooden height scale and analog weighing machine was used to measure height and weight. Measurement was done using height in centimeter and weight in kilogram. Later on, body mass index was calculated using body mass calculator. Blood sample was drawn for laboratory investigations following aseptic technique before commencing hemodialysis with the consent of patient and their visitor. Clinical assessment was done directly and from secondary data as well. Dietary assessment was done using the food frequency questionnaires and 24 hours dietary recall. Data analysis was done using SPSS version 25. Association between protein intake, nutritional indicators, and independent variables were tested using chi-square test. Now the findings. In the study, majority of the respondents were male, that is 63.3%. Majority of the respondents were from age group 41 to 60 years, that is 45.33%. Majority of the respondents were from medium socioeconomical status, that is 91.3%. And the majority of the respondents were army, author, farmer, music teacher, singer, teacher, etc. Talking about the caregivers, 32% of the caregiver were the wife of patient. Now, talking about the protein intake informations, respondents included their protein diet from both animal and plant sources, that is 66.7%. Regarding the biochemical indicators, 53.3% of the male member and male respondents and 33.3% of the female uric acid level was within the normal range. Regarding the serum total protein level, 91.3% of the respondents, the total protein level was within the normal range, whereas the serum albumin level of 66.7% respondent were below 4.0 gram per dl. The body mass index, we can say that 62.7% of the respondents' body mass index was within the normal range, whereas 3.3% of respondents were underweight. The weight changes within the 6 months, we can see 72% of the respondents had no weight changes within 6 months, but 20.7% of the respondents lost their weight of about 0 to 2 kgs. Regarding their appetite, 81.3% of the respondents had good appetite status, but those whose appetite level were changed, 64.29% of the respondents decreased their appetite level. So 97.3% of our respondents visited the dietitian. Now, talking about the association between the protein intake and nutritional indicators, we can clearly say that there is a significant correlation, association between the protein intake and nutritional indicators such as body mass index, serum total protein, serum albumin, serum uric acid. So here, this study concludes that the major reason for restricting diet was due to disliking the taste of the protein-containing food. Some respondents were observed to skip breakfast, snacks, and supper. So it is because of the various constraints like economical constraints, limitation of the activity, and other barriers. Some of the patients were found that they had never visited the dietitian and they were unaware about the diet counseling. The knowledge as well as the consumption level of the hemodialysis patient found very poor regarding protein diet. So it is very necessary that the hospital should provide the facility of regular diet counseling, monitoring, and evaluation for each patient, as the requirement of the protein diet can vary according to the patient's biochemical indicator and health status. There are several limitations, just like the study was based on only one outpatient hemodialysis center and the sample size was small. There is a strong recommendation that there is a need for broad provision of diet counseling in healthcare setting, both in outpatient and inpatient services. Increasing the number of registered or trained dietitians can ensure that the hemodialysis patients receive accurate information about their dietary needs. Hemodialysis patients and their guardians should receive clear and accessible information about the appropriate diet based on affordability, availability, and in a simple language which they can understand easily within the healthcare setting. The dialysis patients and their families should undergo intensive nutrition counseling with individualized plan of care, including the standardized measurements. These plans should be reassessed regularly with updates according to the hospital protocol or as recommended by the core patient care team or multidisciplinary team. Further research is needed to assess the adherence to dietary recommendations among hemodialysis patients and to evaluate the knowledge and practices of caregiver. Periodic monitoring and evaluation of nutritional status for all dialysis patients is recommended. So here are the references. Thank you very much for listening. If there is any question, let me know. Thank you so much.